You sound like you went really hard in middle school into like, I'm going to assimilate as much as possible in terms of my speech and my language and my vocabulary and my legal status and my identity. Of like, I'm not that, I'm now this. And there's not integration. What problems did that cause for you?
I think there was a ticking point where I began to not know where or who I was in reality. I was like, I feel like these two things are fake now. Like they're
Mhm.
gone. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know who I was becoming. I had no sense of like groundness. I was trying to like avoid both worlds from coming together. And that got to my head. And I started to feel like it was just too much for me. And there was anxiety back again. I was like, what is wrong with me? And sometimes I'm like, maybe it's something I ate. Or I'll try to like come up with something to avoid like what's happening to me. But I noticed there was a time where I began to isolate from my friends. I don't want to talk to my parents. I don't want to talk to my friends. I just want to be here in my little corner. And that began the snowball. So in middle school, I had two moments, almost like a panic attack. I just felt like I was overheating. I was just like, why am I gasping for air? Like, I can't do it. It's just too much. I just felt so isolated. Like, I'm like, these people don't really understand how hard it is to keep like two identities alive and two of my worlds alive. It ultimately just led to a ball of depression, anxiety, constantly pinpointing at each other, going back between both until I was like, maybe it's just the way I look. Maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe something physical. And I began to go crazy, I think, at the time. And I started avoiding eating my food. Like, maybe it's just, I need to exercise or do something for myself. I started like being obsessed with like my weight and the way I looked. And it was just an incredible obsession. And I started eating less and less and less, where there was a point in my life where I was only eating like 4 apples a day, which is crazy to me right now. But I was so obsessed with controlling something because I was having this balance of my two identities. It created this sense of like, I can't control anything, so I'm going to control this. And it became an obsession with controlling that particular thing in my life.